What's going on, everyone? My name is Mario Polanco. I am the head of tech here at Studio Creativo, and I want to hold your hand, walk you through step by step, literally, because I wish that someone would have done for me throughout all these different tools that I've learned how to use. And we want to follow our code of ethics where there is no gatekeeping, full transparency, especially for those in our community. Now, NotebookLM pretty much a mini library, but on steroids. Okay. You are going to be able to put in links to YouTube videos, files, documents, Google Drive, you name it, especially anything that's living within the Google suite, right? Spreadsheets, things like that. The powerful part of this is two things, in my opinion. When you're working within your Notebook LM, you're communicating directly with those source files, right? It's not doing any web searching for you. So the context is relatively narrow, but it's good. It's got some pros and cons to it. It's going to focus directly on what you're referring to, but you can also select and deselect certain sources, which is really cool because maybe you don't know this, but GPT and Claude and things like that have these project features or custom GPT. Well, as much as you can put in there, which is great, you can't deactivate what it's referencing, right? Or sometimes you may have to start getting really specific with what source you want it to reference and maybe tell it which ones not to. And that can be a pain in the ass. I don't want to deal with that. So the second part to this, what makes it super, super powerful and exciting, is that if you're using Gemini, you now have an extra brain to add into Gemini. And now it can use some web searching on top of searching through those sources, right? You have the ability to deselect and all that while you're working in it. But the point is that now you're being able to put both of those powerful tools together between the web searching, the really big context window, which for normal people or for people that don't understand this AI jargon, I'm going to do this in normal language, right? The context window is essentially how much it can take in. Okay. You're talking to a little kid, you got to speak to them in chunks, right? You almost have to remove words between your sentences just so they get to the main points of things. With large language models, there are context windows and processing tokens, which is just every single character within, let's say, a sentence, right? So in order for it to not hallucinate or act like you're talking to someone with short-term memory loss, you're going to need to have really strong context, right? Something like Gemini has a large capacity, right, to be able to take in a lot of information and also to spit out information accurately based on what it is that you're giving it. If that makes sense. I hope that does. What we're going to do tonight is something for me, is exciting. Okay, for me, this is exciting. I want to get better at doing social media content, right? It'd be awesome to have a custom coach or another brain of a really popular content creator. Okay. You guys see my dog moving back there. It's because it's a little late. She's sleeping over a bit. So tonight's example, we're going to do something. We're going to build that library of understanding really good content creation with someone by the name of Sabrina Ramonov. Love her content. Super cool chick. She is very straightforward and very well educated and has a lot of experience in the A space. So she also makes really good content and she has a really good following. And she was able to blow up on TikTok in a very short amount of time, like 600,000 followers in less than 2 years. She recently put out a video on how to blow up on TikTok this year. And that really inspired me essentially to make this video because I want to be able to do that. Right. So I may not be preaching to the choir here, or it may sound like I'm preaching to the choir here, but at the same time, I haven't gone viral. I don't have a huge social media presence, but I like to get there. And like a lot of us, well, you got to put in the work and figure it out and research and prepare and organize your shit so that you can be able to potentially get there. This is where the Notebook LM is going to come in for me. So again, I told you we're going through this step by step. This might be a little bit of a long video, but I'm going to not skip out on anything because every single part of this is pertinent to doing this correctly, right? So like I mentioned, let's go through here. Let's call this social media brain, whatever. We go here to add sources. We can add in websites, the Google Drive, copied text like Markdown or just basic plain text, and even upload files, right? So you could even search the internet if you wanted to, and whether it's web or your actual drive, and add in sources there too. It tends to grab a lot of the time. And then, you don't want to fill up the space on this too quickly because my understanding could take like between 40 to 50 files. I don't know how much, like how many megabytes of data it can hold, to be honest, but I haven't really maxed out yet. And so this is how I'm going to do this tonight, right? I'm going to use YouTube because Sabrina does have a YouTube account. So there she is. Okay, cool. You guys definitely have to give her a follow. Shout out to Sabrina. I'm going to go through all of these videos, right? Not watching them, of course, but I can go to like a video playlist like this. And so I'm not gonna lie, I already did this because I didn't want to just bore you guys with copying and pasting a bunch of links. There are Google Chrome extensions that you can use that will essentially scrape all of these URLs to all of these videos in one go. Be careful with those. Some of them are kind of sketchy. I used one to do this, and then I started noticing weird issues again, like my Google Chrome browser switching to Yahoo again. I don't know what's up with that. If you want to do it, go for it. But if, in my opinion, just take the time because maybe you want to choose specific things. Like I'm not N8N workflows, no offense. I'm trying to understand what works in her content, what hooks she's using, why they work so well, and also to better my ability to understand how to make more content and content that's already been proven to work. Because here's the proof, right? I mean, she's got 150,000 views, 22,000 views. I mean, I'd be stoked if I get 2,000 views, right? So, right over here. Here it is. Okay. Now, ignore what's in the middle here, or just go scroll up. Oh, this has been showing us all up. Scroll the way up. So with that Chrome extension that I had used, there was like 60 something videos. A lot of them were not even from her. There were just things that were on the screen. There was other shorts, other video links to completely different content creators. So maybe depending on what you're doing, for the sake of like that subject matter, you want to actually grab those. Cool, go ahead. But I had to go through there like one by one and remove the ones that weren't. So all in all, I guess I got like 37 or 35 sources, right? And actually, look, wait, there's a double. So you can always remove these, rename them, because it will kind of name them on their own. That way you don't get lost. And like, okay, I want to talk to this right now, or I need to ask it some questions, but I don't want this one or this one or this one referenced, right? You can deselect, select. So what I had done, for instance, was simple prompts, because again, it's just working within this. I don't need to get too detailed yet, but like, what hooks does this creator use most and why do they work? So gives me a full breakdown, right? It's understanding based on her transcripts, which is, by the way, a huge win, because, if you've been trying to do this prior, like with other projects and other different LLM models, like say Claude, like I'm a huge Anthropic fan. You're going to those YouTube videos, copying, pasting the URL, going to a transcription site, taking the whole transcript, putting it in. And to be honest, if you think about it, sometimes it's difficult for a tool to really understand what it is other than just a bunch of words. This is where it comes to sourcing in this instance, a really well-known or a well-spoken or like a viral creator, because obviously their words are working. The algorithm's picking it up. They're having success with this, right? Obviously. So gives you some examples. It's going, I don't know, give me what, like 6 pointers here. Okay. So next question was, based on their best performing content, give me 5 video ideas in their style for my AI agency focusing on Google Workspace setups. Here we go, right? Well, Inception, as I call it. It's one thing working into the other. But with Cope, so it gives us the pattern interrupt, right? Which I mentioned before. And it shows some of the hooks that she used and what was on the screen, or ideas of what I could be using, title ideas, right? Like, this shit's awesome. I've got like 5 good videos that I can then go off and make using the same framework she did. And I mean, we hope it goes somewhat viral, or at least I get some good views from it. If you get what I'm saying, like, this helps a lot with someone if they feel stuck or they want to mimic someone that they really enjoy listening to. And especially if it's someone that has social proof that their content works, right? And now, for instance, I then asked it some questions. I think on this question, I might have actually ended up sourcing just one of these, which was her recent one about going viral on TikTok this year. Okay. And I told it to just create me a to-do list or action list from this video so I can apply it to my TikTok account ASAP. Mind you, I did watch the whole video, okay, because I wanted to actually compare what was being said and like my understanding of it, what I was taking in, and then what NotebookLM was actually understanding from that too. And to be honest, one or two things were kind of like in a weird order, but maybe it's because it was going through these specific phases, but it nailed everything. It grabbed everything. I mean, I took notes, right? And then I was like cross-referencing between this and like what I wrote down in my notes. This was even better because I have more details in it. But like it works. It works really freaking well. Okay. Now, let's say I wanted to, I don't know, create what I got from that video into an infographic, right? Let's say this is now, like a lot of people do, right? We're just ripping stuff off from other people, rebranding it, slapping our name on it, and creating a lead magnet. That could be an infographic. That could be a pitch deck, a slide deck with how to go viral in TikTok on TikTok this year, step by step. I mean, I think you guys are now seeing like how powerful this stuff is. If you have a Google Workspace account, or let's back up, if you got a custom domain through Google, because we all know it's much cheaper. And like for me, I don't use anything else but Gmail. I don't want to go back to Outlook. I've been using Gmail long enough. Everything's in that same ecosystem. Dude, you get all these tools. Yeah, well, like these are the tools just within NotebookLM, but like if you look up here, I mean, yes, these are some of the standards, right? But even like YouTube Music and the Vault, we have a lot of space. Like between our team, we have 5 terabytes of storage. It's fucking incredible. Even the chat, like we were able to just talk with each other instead of using Slack. Like it, I love it. I mean, I digress. I don't want to get too off on the tangent. I want to focus on NotebookLM. But for instance, now let's go over to Gemini, right? And I want to come up with some more content ideas, right? Let's collapse this menu here. You guys don't need to be looking at my chat history. So where to choose that notebook? All right, let's go to Sabrina's notebook that I made. And let's say, for example, I need to create a video for my whole community on how to set up an 8-den, right? Which we don't, and I don't care. I'm not going to do that. That video does not exist in there. There's plenty of other dudes out there offering N810 setups. Even someone like Sabrina, watch her content. Again, why I like her so much, she doesn't have a course. She's not trying to ever sell you anything. She doesn't need the extra financial gain, okay? She's a great educator, and that's what I respect most about her. So, like, okay, let's just keep it simple, right? I need to create a video for my Skool community on how to set up N810, and it will be for beginners, right? Using the notebook, create me a script, step-by-step guide, and I don't know, some visuals to use the video. Not thinking super sharp right now. It's a little late here, but I just wanted to get this filing out there for you guys, okay? So we'll wait a second, be right back. Cool. So it's still showing us thinking, right? And specifically for our Skool community, right? Okay, so it's giving me a bit of a tutorial. Now, the ultimate beginner guide to N810, all right? I know it's using probably key terms from some of these videos and this content, but he gave me a hook, action, a pro tip. These are all in scripts, right? This is within the first 2 minutes. These are bullet pointers that you could just elaborate on. Section 2, the interface, right? Like gives you some understanding nodes and then doing a demo. Making the first automation, adding the human in the loop, which is another one of our core pillars here. The echo framework, right? Is the H, humanizing these things. Having some control. And then finally, like a call to action. And this could be like around a 10-minute, maybe 8 to 10 minute video. And check this shit out. It did a step-by-step guide for students. So installing it, the triggers, connecting variables, etc. Visuals, like a logic map, right? Or like a mind map, which, let's go back over here. We can do, right? We can make mind maps, which is fucking awesome. Okay. And what else? N810 versus make.com comparison. We go into pricing. I mean, this is what a lot of content creators are doing, right? And now you can use, again, like, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but you can go and find someone that's doing it right, doing it really well, and without having to break your brain over it. Because, like me, I'm super passionate about this stuff, but maybe I'm not the most experienced when it comes to creating content and videos. But if I can have like a virtual mentor or someone I can replicate, right? Then like this is what I'm going to do it for. And this is just one example, okay? I'm going to show you guys my other notebooks. Like let's just delete this right now because there's nothing in there. This is where I brainstorm my other videos for our school. This is specifically Echo School, and then I have other videos for my YouTube and social media content. Okay. This is more breaking down into what we do in some of the classrooms. Nano Banana. I mean, this one's freaking sweet. I went and grabbed dev docs, right? I'm not going to pay someone for basic prompts, okay? It's a fucking joke. This only has 2 things in it, right? I found these 4 pillars of prompt architecture for creating pictures, and well, the API and like Google AI dev docs for this. This is also the URL because it's public, right? You don't have to log in for anything. Which, by the way, any of these links, if there's a login that you have to pass for some authorization you need to get through, it won't work, right? Because it's like don't work that way. So, I didn't want to go down a whole rabbit hole and need to like learn Nano Banana because that's a whole nother job in itself and people dedicate to that. It's not my thing. I'm not an image and video guy. I do it for fun, just on the side. Like for making, for instance, since we're on the theme of social media content, for making my cover images for my Instagram posts, and just doing something more catchy and creating some fun Nano Banana type images. Okay. So with that one for there, which by the way is all shared within our office. Like everyone has access to this. Okay. Then I have some clients in here. This client, this is another notebook helping me with all kinds of make.com workflows and connecting APIs, etc. I know at the make.com docs right here just to reference what needed, which by the way, then I could put into a Gemini when I'm chatting with it and help me with setting up specific nodes, etc. Or even just architecting what a flow should look like based on what it is I'm trying to do. Even with my Claude Code, which now I've been using anti-gravity a little, I still love Claude Code, but like, I don't know, I just wanted to, there's been a lot of changes and updates lately, and I wanted to stay up on all of that. And it's hard to, so, if you're scrolling and you find links to things, copy and save that shit into your notebook. It is a notebook, all right? It's like an educational tool. It's your virtual notebook, okay? But it's a notebook you can interact with, right? Imagine opening up your damn notebook and just talking to it. It's freaking sweet, okay? And then lastly, like with anti-gravity, I had it help me figuring that out because I'm familiar with Cursor and Claude Code, but I wanted to try anti-gravity out, which is free, by the way. And I was able to use that to build out our own landing page, which was really exciting. So let's see. All right. Now, without getting too much into Gemini Gems, I just want to give you guys a little bit of a sneak preview as to what the next step is going to be after building out this brain, right? Gemini has their little, compared to like the custom GPT, for those that are maybe team OpenAI or in Claude, just projects. They're called gems, and they have some that they've already pre-made, which you can scroll through here and play with them, and they're pretty sweet. And then you can go and make your own, right? And when you go in here, similar to like a custom GPT, give it a name, a description, instructions, which I still use GPT typically for. I use a prompt engineered custom GPT in there to help me when I give an explanation as to what is going to be the goal for this and what LLM is going to be using it. So I do that, right? It's cool to still cross channels and make LLM hybrids, if you want to call it, whatever. Okay. You can choose your default tool. Maybe this is just an image or a video maker, whatever. You want it to just go straight to deep research every time you hit enter. Okay. Or it's just going to be like an educational tool with guided learning, right? Which imagine if you add in, here we go, wait for this, the NotebookLM as a knowledge source, right? Or you can add in from your drive, etc. So if you're following me now, you can understand how this thing is just a freaking juggernaut, right? I have a gem in here, for instance. I think it's this one. Could be wrong. But no, I'm sorry. The gem I have back to creating nano banana images was this image helper, right? But if we go, sorry, let's go into this gem and let's, oops, edit it. Okay. You can see that I have that notebook as part of its knowledge base. Now, mind you, I guess, well, you can add more than one. Okay. So, however, imagine what you could do if you went down that route. But for instance, when I want to go and chat with this thing, okay, and let's say I want to chat with it about something that ties into this, but this doesn't necessarily need to live in the knowledge base. I can still have another notebook LM right here, dude. Okay, maybe it's like with my Echo School or something like that. I wanted to help me make images for the school community or my fractions or whatever. Okay. So again, I don't want to go down a big tangent with that, but like you can understand how these things are like layers, right? There's building blocks to this whole process. And it is extremely powerful, extremely fun, and extremely easy. Okay. I'm not a dev. I don't have a huge tech background, but I'm passionate about this stuff and I've spent the time. And I'm so glad that one of our CEOs decided to invest in this because we just needed a domain. And then little by little, as we're using it in our own office and workspace, we're finding how crucial and vital this is to having a productive day and a productive company and saving money and not having to be spending on frivolous shit or other CRMs or other tools, right? Like, love Go High Level, it's cool, but imagine what you can do with all this extra AI that's in there without having to custom build out all that stuff, right? I mean, our CRM isn't a spreadsheet. We have Gemini available to customize with that and ask it questions and generate reports. We have other notebook LMs with those spreadsheets in there, our KPIs, our clients' data, our ICPs, all of that stuff's in there. Now we can actually interact with it while we're collecting data. And guess what? I already have a data server or some big MacBook Mini or some extra external hard drive running because I'm using Google, right? I've got all that storage. I got 2 terabytes storage on my own account for that. So with that being said, I hope this video was helpful, somewhat motivating, and maybe gives you a little bit of sigh of relief. Even the average Joe can get in here, learn it, play with it. I've told people, even if you're not like trying to be some AI agency guy or whatever, like you're a hobbyist, you've got passions for other shit you do on the weekends, or you're just into it. Maybe you want to have a killer diet and workout plan and coach, and you don't want to be spending all that money every month. Like, invest in this, set it up, do your thing, have fun, communicate with it, and feel like you're up to date with AI and you've got a really strong helper. All right, guys. If you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate it if you left a comment. If you've got any questions, I'm happy to help. I want to answer anyone's questions. If you can like it, if you want to subscribe, cool. I really appreciate it. Okay, I'm trying to get this channel back up and running. And again, of course, come check out our Skool if you want. See what we have going on in there with our Echo framework. It's a simple 4-step framework that we apply to a lot of different things. And it's something that's going to keep you constantly progressing, not starting from scratch, and also staying in the loop, right? Having that human presence within your day to day or week to week interactions with AI. If you're maybe a novice or you're a daily user like us, like a power user where you're using a lot of these tools, it's really helped a lot of people out with just staying on track. And we've got some great pre-made agents that are paired up with that Skool community outside of this. So you're staying accountable and working on whatever it is that you're working towards. All right, guys, that's it for now. I appreciate it. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much.